There, I know it's been a minute. So yeah, I am driving again. Seems to be a thing where I end up doing these driving, but that's all right. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy. I don't drive like a maniac or anything like that, so we're all good. Yeah. How you been, by the way? It's kind of been a crazy few weeks, and I don't know, is it just me? Kind of feel like, where am I going? What am I doing? Is this all there is? I've been having conversations with a few different people this week, and we're kind of all in the same boat. I think to myself, going out to breakfast and dinners are great, but it's not healthy. I'd rather, I think now, start just going for walks and stuff. It's just a time, I think, that I have to really fully let myself grieve the loss of my mother, because I haven't really done that. I think grief is such a kind of hold you in this little space of, you're just spinning, like chasing your tail. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel that she's with me always, all the time. It doesn't make a difference if I'm sleeping, if I'm awake, if I'm home or I'm out. There she is. There's something around me that reminds me of her. Of course, I have her picture in my car. And she loved cute things, little cutie patootie things. And I live in the house she built, right? And then I found all these papers where she was saying, I built this house for you. I'm so sorry, that I let people change my mind about things. You didn't deserve that. You were the only one who, anyways, she just went on about things. And I work real hard to be aware of what I say on these videos, because I don't know who's listening to them, right? And it might be family members, so all that stuff doesn't really matter. I have found myself, like, I really just don't care about things. It's like I'm so busy doing my own stuff, whatever that may mean for me, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't mind that I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do. It's nobody else's business. However, I keep coming back to this. I don't really care. And I've created like a template for myself, like life coaching for myself. And it all has to do with, it's not about motivation, it's about discipline, So I haven't had any discipline, I think, for much of my life. I think the only time I really had like discipline was when I was bodybuilding and weight training and training others. But in the past few years, I haven't had any. And that's all right. I mean, of course, my health has suffered for it. Not detrimentally, but enough that I notice a difference in my health and these aches and pains all over. And yeah, okay, so I've done a few things. Like, I bought a vibration plate to help, loosen up the muscles in my calves. And I'm getting to a point where I can actually stand on it and give myself the time. Like, I'm throwing my phone on the side more and more and more. And people are like, hey, you didn't answer me. I'm like, nah. There's really nothing that's that urgent that anyone needs me for. So, and I think that's part of my mindset in my life, is that I realize that I'm not, no one's in crisis. It's like, the only one that seems to be in crisis at times is me. And not even, I don't mean it like, oh, crisis. I mean it like, what am I gonna do with my life? What am I gonna do with myself? What am I here for? Is this grief ever gonna go away? Am I ever gonna feel better? Where do I start? So I started to really think about where do I start? So it starts with discipline. So there's a real big part of me that has this ability to be like uber disciplined. But then there's the other real lazy ass side of me who just doesn't give, like, I don't care. And I don't care what anybody else is doing. I don't care where they are in their life. I've given up trying to give people advice and all that stuff because they're going to do what they want to do anyway. I always have. I'm proud of the people who are able to change their lives and stop chasing their tail in those little continually cycling through the same partners and problems and thought processes and addictions and like all of these things. I mean, there is a place, of course, for help. There's a place, of course, for help and compassion and support. And I have a lot of those a lot of parts of me that hit those targets, as I'm going through life, basically. So I still always come back to this grief thing. My mother was 86 years old when she passed, and I was so lucky to have her until I was 55. That's incredible for someone to say, because I know people have lost their mom in their 20s and 30s at childbirth or, like crazy long time ago. So there's a part of me that I feel like, oh, come on, you had her for so long. Stop being such a whiny baby kind of thing. But then I say, no, I'm entitled to that grief because, we love our people so much that they are our focus of that love. They're the target of that love. And when that target is gone, what do we do then? What do we do with that love then? And I really believe that, you see all these memes and all this stuff where it says, grief is love with nowhere to go. And what kind of hit me was that I have to internalize that love. I can't make other people pay for my sadness or my grief or my loneliness. I have to learn how to take the love that I had for my mom and turn it inward, So it's such a delicate space to be in because you don't want to go too much one way or the other way, because there has to be some kind of balance. And I think the only thing that's going to bring me balance, I mean, I don't know about you, but the only thing that's going to bring me balance is going to be some form of uber discipline. So that being said, I know so many of us handle grief differently. And I'm not a public shower of grief. I do it in quiet, in private. I mean, my mom died and I didn't shed a tear in front of anybody, at all. And me and my mom were like this. And she was sorry for a lot of things in the letters that she left me. I kind of found some solace in that. So if you weren't lucky enough to get a letter like I was, just know that when people pass, no matter how terrible they've been, or if they've made decisions and changed things that you didn't understand why, they either had someone whispering in their ear to change things, someone was trying to make them feel guilty to change things, or they just felt guilty on their own, right? So there's just there's like absolutely no wrong in anything. I don't believe anymore. I don't believe there's wrong. I believe that, even for myself, the things that choices I've made in my life and decisions I've made, even when my mother was standing there screaming at me saying, "Don't you dare effing do that," I did what I wanted anyway. And I have this regret, and I have a guilt that is always just whispering around me of all the things I've done and the people I've hurt, my kids, and their sadness and their feelings. Like, just, I have to understand, and I have to let go the grip that grief and that guilt has had on me all these years. And finding those letters from my mom, even if I wouldn't have found them, she did the best she could. And whether she would have been taken suddenly, or she passed the way she passed on her own terms, and she was not well, and she had a lung issue. She had fibroids in her lungs, which were filling up the lungs, so there was like no more room for air, right? So she had said to me, please let me go peacefully. Please don't let me suffer. Let me go in peace and quiet, and I'm not afraid to die. I just don't want to feel any more pain than I've had in my life, because my father was a very violent and abusive person. And I'm not going to call him a man, because I don't believe he was. He was a totally damaged entity that was not given a son. He had 4 daughters. Because I believe, in some sense, God did not want another one like him walking the planet. That's how bad my father was. And I don't care who knows him outside as such a nice guy, but he wasn't. And he totally demolished my mother, physically, spiritually, intellectually, financially, psychologically. He demolished her. And he tried to demolish us. What he demolished in us was our relationship as sisters. So there's 4 girls. The only thing he accomplished in his life was to ruin the relationship of his daughters toward each other. So I believe I would have come to this realization anyway, whether or not I would have found those letters from my mom. I believe I would have understood she did what she did, how she did it, because that's the best she knew. And for my father, I believe the same as well. But I also do truly believe that Creator, God, universe, whatever, didn't give that man a son for the reasons I stated earlier. And, I know there was secrecy in my family, and there was lies, and there was promises broken. But I'm not mad at my mother for changing her mind and changing things, because I know it wasn't her, it was other people whispering in her ear. And she was such a guilt-ridden person that she didn't want anyone to be mad at her. So she always kept coming back around to me to make sure that I had when she passed, and she did well by me. I can't say she didn't. But I know the whisperers. I know what they did. And I know who they are. And sadly, the thing with the old man, with my father, he was just so mean that I don't hold 1 ounce shred of grief for that man. Never shed a tear for him. When I was a little girl, I did, because I used to wonder, how come I got such a terrible father? What did I do? Like, I made myself guilty and wrong for him, for his behavior, for the way he treated me, because even on his death, he made sure I knew how much he hated me. So that's sick and that's sad, and that says a lot about him as a person, right? So I get the same thing. I come back to, he only knew and could do what he had with what he knew at the time. But for him, he enjoyed hurting people. He really enjoyed hurting people. He enjoyed hurting my mother. He enjoyed hurting me, my other sisters. And I think the grief of my mom passing has really helped for me to kind of come to terms. Oh my God, this is terrible. Sorry. Has really helped me to come to terms with, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's nothing that anyone could tell me now about my father that would change what he did, who he was, how he still did this in his will. My mom, on the other hand, she tried to make everyone happy, and I think the best thing we can do for those who pass on suddenly or expectedly or whatever, in any way, is to live our life in their honor. If we love them that much, we need to honor them, and whatever that means for you. Nobody has to explain anything, or if you want, you can, but you don't have to. We all do the best we can do with what we have in here and what our capacity is. And I don't hate anybody. I don't, even the old man, like, I don't hate him. He was just like nasty, gnarly, that guy. One of my siblings, when we were kids and he'd call her name, she'd say, "Yes, Lucifer." That's how bad he was. Oh God. But all of this, just to say, I keep coming back to this grief and this sadness, and I have a picture of my mom in my car. I have her picture up in my house because that's how I honor her, and I carry her name, so I'm her junior. And creating this program of mine that I've created, how to be my own life coach, has truly kind of opened my eyes, and like, holy cow, I didn't realize, like, is that what it is? It's discipline. It's discipline for myself and my life and what kind of life do I want to live? Well, I need to figure that out, and I need to follow these steps that I came up with and discipline my life around that, no matter how much I want to just not, So I don't know. Someone had said to me that I should sell the document for a few bucks. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I would ask if you wanted more information, or to just stick around for a little while, subscribe to the channel, give me a follow and a subscribe, and even do a comment and a thumbs up. That would really help me. You never know what's going to happen. There's miracles that happen every freaking day in people's lives. And I really believe that. And I think that if we really give ourselves that thought, that time to think really, really honestly, what can I do to honor my life and take that love that I can't give them anymore and turn it to myself? I think that's really a real important part of the healing process. So I am Mohawk, and my Mohawk name is Goanagarde, and that means her voice carries a message. So from now on, this channel is going to be called Her Voice Carries a Message. Yawagoa Sewagoegu. Danuganardunkwa. Thank you, everybody. I love you.